Hey guys, I'm with Monty right now with Domain Fest Day 3, final day. So Monty, just introduce yourself to my audience.
Sure. I'm Monte Cahn. I'm the president and director of
Yeah.
rightofthedot.com. We're an internet consulting firm, and we specialize in the consultation of high-end domain names and new registries and registrars, helping them select premium names out of their premium names. And we do domain auctions and brokerage, and are pioneers in the industry for that.
So how much is your experience in domaining business right now? How much experience you hold in this domain?
I started in the domain name business in 1995.
You started in 1995.
1995.
Okay.
So we're at 20 years.
So 20 years of experience you
in
have.
the domain name business. Yes.
So how many premium domain names right now you own?
Personally, I own a couple, 3,000 or 4,000 domain names, but I've helped sell $350 million worth of domain names in the last 12 years.
12 years. So do you hold .com mostly, or you also do you hold .asia, .net, other TLD extensions?
I own a lot of .coms and nets, but I'm recently started investing in some of the new TLDs like .club and .global and .poker and some of those.
So do you think that these new TLDs hold value in terms of reselling domains?
Not as much today as they will be in the next 5 to 10 years. So we believe it's a long-term play, just like .com was back in the 90s.
So it will take some time for new TLDs to survive in the market, because right now the .com is the king.
Right now, .com is the king. However, for the new generation of users, we believe that new TLDs have more applicability.
Yeah.
It makes more sense for my children to have a domain name with right of the dot meaning. Because .com doesn't mean anything to them.
.com
and most people don't know what .com stands for.
Yeah. So most of the Chinese buyers, do they buy .com or do they buy some other extensions?
Most Chinese buyers buy .com today and .cn. But China is about 10 years behind the Western world in terms of domain investing. So they don't know the value of new domain names yet.
Okay. So do you think that India market is growing right now in domaining business? Do you
the Indian market?
Yeah.
Market. The Indian market is definitely growing. There's 1 billion people in India, and only a fraction have domain names, so there's only upside for the Indian market. I think there's a lot of very bullish on the Indian market and the Chinese market, and some other third world countries that have not been fully developed yet.
Yeah.
Once they get broadband and get connectivity, the domain opportunities are going to be great.
So do you have any plans to attend any domain events in India? Hosting Con is going to be there in India.
I won't be at Hosting Con, but I'll attend your friend's next conference. The
Domainfest?
No, the one I just missed in
Domainx in Bangalore.
Yes.
So you attending?
So I was invited to go this year, but I couldn't go. I had a conflict with my children.
Huge. Yeah, it was huge.
Yes.
So suppose as I'm a newbie in domainer right now, so how I can get started in this domain business, because I don't know the basics. So what should I do to learn the basics and to get more into this business, domaining?
Well, the most important things is to attend a conference like this, Domainfest, and NamesCon in January is going to be the biggest gathering of domain investors.
NamesCon is the biggest in the world right now.
Biggest in the world, over 1,000 people for domainers and domaining and people in the industry. Of course, reading on the blogs, thedomains.com and dnjournal.com and Domain Name Wire are very important resources to get information about the domain industry. Domain Insight is also a great source. So the domains.com, which is the #1 blog, my partner writes that blog, is a great source for education, and a lot of the forums like DN Forum and DN State, and communicating with other people in the industry on those forums.
So how to build a good relationship and trust with the domainers? Suppose I have a domain xyz.com, so I just want to sell to a domainer. So how I can build a trust and that I'm the right guy of the domain? So how I can make
well, you mean to build trust in terms of buying and selling?
Buying and selling. Yeah.
Well, first of all, if you have a high value domain name, you want to employ a broker to help sell your name, so that you have a trusted service. Right. So we do high-end brokerage for very very valuable premium domain names. If you have medium-sized domain names in terms of value, a listing service like Afternic or GoDaddy or Sea-Doo might be a good resource to have. And then they'll take care of the transfer fees and everything else for you on that. Forums are a good place to do trades as long as you trust the other person have done a transaction with them before.
So, what makes the domain name so powerful from the investment standpoint?
Well, a domain name is valuable from an investment standpoint if it has meaning, if it's brandable, if it has good keyword value and searchability, if it's desirable by a company or an end user.
Yeah.
If it has a comparable sales data for another domain name that's sold that has the same keywords in it.
Okay.
That makes a good valuable domain name.
So, do domains like exact match domains have a value? Like I have a domains like hotelsinhongkong.com. So these domains do have a value.
Well, hotels in Hong Kong probably not as much as hotels.com.
Hotels.com.
Yeah, that's
It's a very big.
Or Hong Kong hotels is a better exact match or geo match domain name.
Hongkong.asia. So will it work good?
Not Hongkong.asia, but hotels.asia.
Hotels.asia.
So try to keep it to 1 or 2 words. Not 3 words or 4 words if possible, and use the new TLDs if you need to get more of an exact match keyword. So you can use the right of the dot as a keyword. So you can do Hongkong.hotels because .hotels is going to be a new TLD, or you can do hotels.asia, for example, which is a great extension.
So do you think that these new TLDs help us in building a brand?
Oh, for sure. So
any example do you like to share?
Well, it's hard to get a .com in keywords because they're all registered.
Yeah.
So your choices are paying a premium for those, or looking at the new domain name extensions in the exact match keywords that you want, and then building a brand off of that. And you have an advantage for search engine optimization because you have a keyword to the left and to the right of the dot, and over time, as you build traffic on that site, you'll be able to get a lot of value in page rank and everything.
Okay. Do you spend some time on domainers forums? Do you read some forums, blogs to get updated?
Well, I'm on blogs a lot, but I'm not on forums as much as I used to be when I owned and operated Moniker and Snapnames, because that's not really my business anymore. But I spend time on a lot of the news sites, and I'm traveling a lot, going to conferences and speaking at lots of conferences. So that's where I kind of educate our clients and try to meet our clients.
Okay. And the last question is that how to grab an expired domain name?
Well, Snapnames and NameJet are the best places to go grab an expired domain.
Expired domain. So do you think that these expired domains hold value from resale point of view?
Sure. If a name's been registered before, it has probably more value than if it's never been registered before. So that means somebody else saw value in it. So that means that it probably has some value. Now, some names are dropping because they have no value to the current owner because they maybe don't mean anything. But there's plenty of diamonds in the pile. If you look hard enough, you can find some expired domain names that make sense.
So my friend Ashwin has one question for you. So Ashwin, would you like to join this interview?
Sure.
Yeah, Ashwin.
And it's not just one question.
Yeah.
There are a lot of questions. Hi, Monty, how are you doing?
Good. How are you? Good to see you again.
I'm so glad actually to be meeting you here because I know you as a veteran in this domain industry. He's the one for Snapnames. He's the one for Moniker.com. He's the one for so many things. I have a question for you on 3-letter domains. What do you think about 3-letter domains?
Oh, I think 3-letter domain names are, of course, a more rare domain name than a 4-letter and a 5-letter domain name. It obviously helps if the letters stand for something, or if they spell out something, or they're an acronym for a company or a service or a saying. So they hold lots of value. Obviously, we know in China that 3-letter domain names are valuable, and as well as 2-letter domain names. They don't like vowels as much, but if you have letter without vowels, they seem to be more valuable here in China. But other names that are 3 letters have value if they stand for a company or service or product or something else that's famous.
I have 2 serious questions here. The first one is, let's say the domain. I have a 3-letter. I'm acquiring a 3-letter.com recently, and there's a company out there with this 3-letter group.com. Okay, XYZ Group.com. Okay, and this company has a trademark from like 2005 for this
for XYZ,
and they are a very popular company in Asian market. And I'm just concerned if I go and buy this XYZ.com, would there's a threat for me for on the terms that they can come down on UDRP or something?
3-letter domain names are tough because they're generic in nature. Now, if you're going to take that same 3-letter domain name and use trademark or copyrighted content from that company, you're in violation of that trademark, obviously, and then you're going to have a lot of problems.
Okay.
If you found a way to shorten the name and you're using it for something else and it just happens to be the acronym for a company that has a longer name and could use it, that's probably not as as risky.
If I go and Google this term, this XYZ, I just see their logos everywhere, their names everywhere. So it looks like they're pretty popular in their own horizon. So, but my niche probably would be different. So having this domain.
If your niche is different, there's no trademark risk.
Right. So I'll
especially in a three-letter domain.
Do I have to make a trademark about it first?
You don't have to make a trademark by it, but your registration's happening after their trademark filing. So as long as you don't use anything that has to do with their trademark and that name is available, then you're good to go.
So should I set up a website on it or just let it parked?
If you're going to park it, make sure that none of their content shows up on parking from your parking provider. So you need to X out that those particular ads that might show up from that other company, and your risk is reduced greatly because of that. You don't have to set up parking. You don't have to set up a website. You can own the domain name, but obviously you're going to want to monetize it.
I see.
So you can park it. Just make sure that your parking provider excludes any content from that trademark holder, so they can never come back and say that you're violating their trademark using their content.
I see. Okay. So that makes a lot of things clear to me.
Yeah.
Second is, how do you go about marketing a three-letter.com at your brokerage company right off the dot?
Well, we probably do some of the research the same research that you do. You look up. You can look up in the trademark database, which is the uspto.com.gov database, and find out what companies go by that acronym, and registered companies worldwide for the same acronym. Do Google searches and website searches, and who uses the same letters of those particular acronym names. So that's a good way to start. And then, of course, marketing to the Chinese and domain investor market.
I see. Okay.
So I hope, Ashwin, you got your answers from Monte right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
So just a last question: how's your experience at Domainfest right now? Do you want to share some keynotes?
Yeah, Domainfest was great. This is the first time that there's been a Domainfest in Asia, so it brought the Western world and the Eastern world together, along with folks from India too, which was great. And as Jothan mentioned, there was participants from 25 different countries. So it was more of an international conference, even though there was 160 attendees.
Yeah.
But getting a chance to meet new entrepreneurs in the domain business is always worthwhile to me. So it was worth my trip here, meeting you guys and others, and then meeting customers that I've been doing business with for years that I've never gotten to meet before.
Yeah, okay. So I hope you had a great time at Domainfest. So signing off from this interview, and thank you, Monte, for your time.
Oh, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Okay,
Thank you.
great.
Thank you. Yeah.
All right. Good.